Hi guys and ladies, welcome to another video. Today I have a Perfumers portfolio video, and it's going to be on a man who is a little bit controversial, you could say. He's moved up the ladder relatively quickly in his career because he had a big hit called Le Male. And so this Perfumers portfolio video is going to be on the one and only Francis Kurkdjian. And he's somebody who kind of went the new age of perfumers, if you will. He started his own brand. He sold his own brand. And now he is the in-house perfumer of Dior. I don't think he's released anything from Dior that he has actually created himself. Even the release that came out after the news that Francois Demachy was leaving, Dior Homme Sport, the new one, whatever they call it, I can't keep up with all the Dior Homme Sports, I don't like them anyways, was a Francois Demachy creation, not a Francis Kurkdjian. So we don't really know where he's going to go with this house. I can tell you that I don't own a bottle of Le Male, because I own a bottle of Casual Friday by Escada, which came out a couple years after, but was a little bit more refined, not as juvenile. I like that more. I have 125 ml of that stuff, so I'll be giving that a lot of wear rather than Le Male. I don't own Baccarat Rouge 540 because I don't like it, to be honest with you. It's just not my thing. It's too sweet and synthetic, and, you know, say what you want about it. Oh, who would have thought they could use 1,000 kilograms of ethyl maltol and make a perfume? It's so amazing. I don't care what, none of that resonates with me. You know what I mean? It's not my thing. And so because it's not my thing, I don't own a bottle. You'll notice that I actually have 0 full bottles of Francis Kurkdjian's brand in my collection. They don't appeal to me. I have some decants. I have some 11 ml travel atomizers, and I have some of his old work from Jean-Paul Gaultier and Narciso Rodriguez, and some samples of his time at Dior when he made probably the fragrance that people think is his masterpiece. So before we get into all of that, that was a quick introduction. Before we get into all that, I just want to read you a little bit about Francis Kurkdjian's history. So this is from Parfumo. They're a fantastic website. I'm starting to really like Parfumo.net. And it says, Francis Kurkdjian sees fragrances as an expression of individuality. The son of Armenian immigrants grew up in Paris, where he was exposed to fine arts at a young age. This led him to develop a love for art and people. He unfortunately was denied a classical ballet education because he did not pass the entrance examination to the Paris Opera. 2 years later, he decided to follow his second great passion, fragrances. He completed his training at the renowned Institut Supérieur International de Parfum, ISIPCA. Sounds like something we have in the States that collects all the animals. The SPCA. In Versailles, graduated in 1993. His first professional stage took him to Quest International in Paris, but Francis Kurkdjian wanted more. In addition to his creativity, it was his strong business sense that helped him pave his way to the top. He went on to earn a master's degree at the Paris Institute of Luxury Marketing. His first success came in 1995 when he created Le Male, which I don't really care for Jean-Paul Gaultier. It was followed by selections like Elizabeth Arden Green Tea, which I don't have, YSL Kouros Eau Noire, which I don't have, Armani Mania, which I don't have, Kenzo Key Lotus Blanc, which I don't have, Versace Jeans Couture Glam, which I don't have, Lancome Miracle Home, I don't have, Yop Muse, I don't have, Dior Cologne Blanche, I don't have, although I think Rich Mitch likes that one. Guerlain Rose Barbar, I don't have. Elie Sable Parfum, I don't have. And then Burberry My Burberry, I don't have. There is a Burberry fragrance in here, though. Shocking, but it's a decant. But I figured I'd include even the decants, just so we had a little more substance to talk about than just a couple fragrances. Francis Kurkdjian worked for most of these big names over the decades. In parallel with his work as a perfumer, he founded his own company, MFK, together with Mark Shaya in 2009. He was awarded for his work several times and has been involved in countless art projects. One of the highlights of his creative work was the reconstruction of the perfume of Marie Antoinette. A journey through time that took him directly to the beginnings of perfume making in France. I didn't know that, actually. He's been working as a creative director for Christian Dior since October of 2021. So hopefully we'll get some new Christian Dior material to learn where he's going to take the house of Dior. Some people have high hopes and others don't have so high hopes. He has turned into a very commercial, he likes to sell units, let's say. He likes to pump out units. It's not about the art for him anymore, I don't think. But I don't think anyone could be about the art at Dior because they have to sell units for LVMH. That's unfortunate. But before we get to his fragrances in my collection, we are going to do Scent of the Day. And Scent of the Day is a doozy because even though it's March 11th, it snowed today. None of it stuck in Texas, but it actually did snow. It's 33 degrees. Snow was falling, believe it or not. And my scent of the day is this. One of my favorite fragrances of all time, the vintage Givenchy Gentleman. I'll tell you guys a pretty funny story. There was a stream that took place at my favorite vintage perfume house, Enchante Perfumes in Canada. Anoush has a haul working for me, actually. That's going to be coming soon. But Eugene met up with Anoush and went to his warehouse. And looking through all the boxes and stuff, go watch that stream. It's really interesting. Out popped a random bottle of Givenchy Gentleman, and I spotted it. And I thought, I already have 2 bottles, but it's getting really rare. Maybe I should grab it. So an hour after the stream, I wrote Mr. Anoush and said, hey, I think I'll take that bottle of Givenchy Gentleman, the EDT, the vintage that popped up in one of those boxes. He said, sorry, sold it already. I said, what? Who would be smart enough to realize what a treasure that actually was? It was Rich Mitch. Rich Mitch beat me to it. He instantly wrote him and beat me to it by an hour. No one else realized what actually popped out of that box. Rich Mitch, cheers, mate. I'm glad if it went to a home, it's going to a good home. This is an amazing perfume. Oh, I love this stuff. I absolutely adore it. It's one of my favorite. It made my top 10 fragrances of all time that I enjoy wearing. 1974, it's bergamot in the top with lemon, which sounds innocuous, but then you get this animalic honey that is so perfect with rose and cinnamon. There's orris, so it's kind of it's a little bit powdery, but not too powdery. But the patchouli in this is to die for. It's one of the best patchoulis. Cedar, amber, oak moss, loads of oak moss in the vintage version. This is an old tester that I scored from Moudasir on bass notes. So Moudasir, thank you, my friend. I have this and I have a splash. And I thought I was going to get a 3rd bottle, but the predatory duck got in my way. Good move, Rich, by the way. Good move, my friend. Okay, now we're going to go to Francis Kurkdjian's fragrances. And we're going to start with the decant. Speaking of Rich Mitch, that he actually sent me, because I had never smelled this. And I did a first impression on it, or an early impression video. If you're interested, go check out my older videos. This is called Eau Noire. Look at the color of the juice. You know what that means when it's green like that, right? Lavender. Lavender is green. It's not purple. This is a good fragrance. It is thyme, clary sage, lavender, Virginia cedar with vanilla and this out of left field licorice note that when you first spray almost smells like syrupy pancakes, okay? It's a lot spicier than fragrances like this, which I actually have a full bottle of this fragrance, and that is called Sunshine Man. This is I don't give ratings for perfumes, but if I did, this would be a 10 out of 10 fragrance. Even though it didn't make my top 10 favorite fragrances to wear. This is a fantastic perfume. I think I enjoy this more than Eau Noire, and because of that, Eau Noire kind of got docked some points in my head. But I asked on a stream, I said, I think Sunshine Man is better than Eau Noire. Changed my mind. And Denby actually came out with a fantastic response. He said, okay, I can't argue with that fact, but Eau Noire gets points for being first. This was 2004. Eau Noire was 2004. This is only about 5-6 years old. So they improved on the DNA as far as I'm concerned. But Francis Kurkdjian, the reason that people say that this is his best fragrance is if you look at his fragrances, and you'll see coming up very soon, they're very simple. They're very basic. They're very mass appealing. You know, you get that vanilla thing going on with Le Male. You get that benzoin thing going on with Grand Soir. You get the vanilla thing going on with another Jean Paul Gaultier. I'm about to show you that vanilla and white musk stuff that he loves to use. Is very basic, very mass appealing. Baccarat Rouge 540 is just this, you know, explosion of ethyl maltol sweetness, right? It's nothing complex, but this actually is a complex fragrance. And it actually is unique for what was out at the time. This was a unique composition that he made, that it's easy to see why fragrance lovers and fragrance connoisseurs put this as his best creation. Very easy to see. I prefer Sunshine Man, and because I have a full bottle, well, almost a full bottle, I would not buy a full bottle of this. I'd love to have a bottle of this, but I don't think I'd buy a full bottle of it. Just because the joy of wearing this fragrance type is surpassed by Sunshine Man. But of course, he couldn't have known that when he created this in 2004. He created something amazing, and he deserves hats off as much as we pile on to MFK, to Francis Kurkdjian, as fragrance lovers. He deserves his due where, you know, he deserves his due. This is a good fragrance. I enjoyed wearing it. And 2004, obviously Le Male was 1995, so this is 9 years after his big hit, Le Male, and created something amazing. Hats off to him there. The next fragrance in my collection is a very rare fragrance, and it goes for big money. Don't pay big money for it, though. Trust me. If you're going to pay big money for it, call me. I'll sell you my bottle. If you're going to pay $500 a bottle for this, just let me know. I'll have it on the way to you in no time. I've never sold a fragrance, actually. It's called Gaultier 2 squared, because they had two bottles like this. These are 120 ml bottles, and they stuck them back to back to each other. So you got two of them. So this is half of one, and the other bottle someone else took, obviously, but you bought them kind of in a pack. And it's this very sweet oriental fragrance, very sweet. This is the reason that I don't own Spiritus Double Vanille, because I have a vanilla fragrance that basically does that. It's very simple. Again, this is where, so this is 2005. This is 1 year after Eau Noire. And he went back to very basic, very simple, amber, musk, and vanilla. And that's pretty much it. It almost smells like you're wearing like a vanilla cake. You know, imagine like if you made a vanilla cake and you get that battery, you know, not battery like a battery in a electronic device, but like that that syrupy batter that you know, while you're making a cake, and it's real sludgy, and that's what this feels like. It feels very sludgy, very sweet, very cakey. My wife said she liked it when I wore it because it reminded her of a cake, and I can tell you that I don't want to smell like a cake. It doesn't really appeal to me, but because this is discontinued, and because people do love vanilla fragrances, I think this is unisex, obviously, and that Gaultier 2 thing, the whole thing about the 2 was that either gender could wear it as well. It was supposed to be like, you know, like genderless kind of thing. That was the marketing back then. And so if you're a lover of vanilla, I guess this is one to watch out for. And it does go for big money because it is discontinued, but it's really just a vanilla fragrance to my nose. It's not anything sensational. It's a vanilla with amber and musk. It's very comforting in the cold weather, but I rarely find the urge to reach for it. I want to wear stuff like this all the time. This is a pure love for me. This is I almost have to force myself to wear it. And sometimes I will do that. I will force myself to wear a perfume that I haven't worn in a long time to remind myself of the way it works, the way it acts, the way it smells, you know, keep my nose up to date, if you will. Or I'll wear it to bed, more likely. I'll wear it to bed. That way I can still experience it, but I don't have to wear it all day. I can wear Givenchy Gentleman, for example, all day, which is absolutely stunning. Okay, now we're going to go to a recently discontinued fragrance, sadly discontinued, and I got this bottle for free, but not from a brand or anything. I got this for free from my good friend Fragnanimous, who I bought all of my Bortnikoffs from, and he also has these, you know, designer fragrance side of his website as well. If you're in the US, check out Fragnanimous, fragnanimous.com. He is an official Arige Ladore and Bortnikoff seller, and he also has these little random fragrances, but he had this on there, and I said, hey man, if I buy a fragrance from you, if I buy a new Bortnikoff, will you throw this in for free? Sure. He thought it was just a junk deal. It was right as it got discontinued, so I had some inside information, and he did, and it was Narciso Rodriguez for Him EDT, the bottle that looks like there's concrete inside of it. And it actually smells like there's concrete inside of it too, because he took that lavender note that he loves using so much, and he added this violet accord, this almost like violet leaf, this ozonic violet accord with pink pepper, and he used that same musk that he loves to use so much with amber and patchouli. So this is musk, amber, and vanilla. This is musk, amber, patchouli, lavender, pink pepper, and violet. It's still not a complex fragrance, but a very strange fragrance. It smells amazing on a rainy day, kind of like today, actually. And it is discontinued. This came out in 2007. The EDP came out in 2009. The EDP is still going strong, but the EDT, which this is unfortunately discontinued. So I'm starting to see crazy prices for this. I'm already seeing on eBay these 50 ml bottles going for over $100. I don't want to tell you how to spend your money, but I don't think this is worth over $100 personally. It's a good fragrance. It's probably one of his better fragrances, actually, even though it's weird. It reminds people a bit of Tom Ford's Noir Anthracite, which I also have a bottle of and is also discontinued. But, you know, this is maybe a little bit more designer version of that. I don't find it too challenging. Maybe for somebody who's not as into fragrances as we are, as I am, it may come across as strange at first, or it may put them off, especially if you've never smelled anything, you know, like this. Because it has this spiciness from the pink pepper, and it also has this watery, ozonic feel. You know, it's almost like water. It's almost like if you take concrete on a hot day, and, you know, when you splash water on it, you get that initial burst of steam and that smell. That's kind of what this fragrance reminds me of. But I like it. Yeah, I think it's a good fragrance. Okay, now we're going to go to probably the best in the Le Male line. And this is the white bottle. This came out in 2007, same year as Narciso Rodriguez for Him EDT. And this is called Fleur du Mal. Look at that classy presentation. Look at that. That classy presentation. And this is a little baby 40 ml bottle. But you know what? I'm glad I have a 40 ml bottle because I actually like wearing Reflection Man maybe a little bit better than this. And that also came out in 2007. But this is Petit Grand, Neroli, Orange Blossom, big orange blossom in this, and big chamomile note as well. The chamomile note is huge in this, with basil and coumarin in the base. And it is also a little bit strange. A floral scent for men was a little bit daring in 2007. I don't think it did well. It got discontinued, but I'll tell you what. The mixture of the Neroli and Orange Blossom with the chamomile and Petit Grand is absolutely beautiful. And even though it's floral, I wear this in the summer and spring, but it's very strong. If you're going to work, you very well might have to watch your sprays because this is an absolute bomb. It'll last like 15 hours on your skin, but I actually really like it. And I'm glad I have a small little bottle so I can experience it. But if you let me pick, if you said, Ramsey, there's this or there's Sunshine Man, Amouage wins again. I'm sorry, not Sunshine Man, Reflection Man. I should have grabbed it so I could show you guys the bottle too. But Amouage just keeps one-upping MFK. It did it with Eau Noire, and it also did it for Fleur du Mâle. I prefer Reflection Man. But this is different. This is a little bit more different than Reflection Man compared to Sunshine Man. Is a lot closer to the DNA of Eau Noire, but I feel like they've just perfected it, you know? So, next fragrance we're going to go to is one of the only officially licensed MFK products I have in my collection. And it's this little travel atomizer thing. You can see it's 3 of these 11 ml travel atomizers, and this is Grand Soir. Look at this strange symbol on top. What is that supposed to be? Looks like some sort of secret society symbol. And this, for those of you that don't know Grand Soir, comes with a little booklet because that's what I want to do. I want to read disclosures. So there's 3 of these in here, and they're 11 ml each. I put a little bit of dent in one. I've worn this a couple times. For those of you that don't know Grand Soir, it's basically a couple things. So he goes back to his roots, okay? Goes back to what he was producing years ago. It's a decade later from this scent. This was 2005. This is 2016, so Grand Soir is a decade later for his own brand. And it's this very sweet, resinous type perfume. The labdanum in here is nice. The labdanum is my favorite part. The benzoin is nice. The Brazilian tonka bean is sticky. There's amber and there's also vanilla. People rave about this scent. I am a little bit agnostic about it. I mean, I would never buy a full bottle. Let's put it that way. And the reason I got these, I got a pretty good deal for as much juice as I was getting, and I was interested in what all the hype was about. And, you know, I understand. I think I would rather smell this on a woman than on someone like me who likes the vintage stuff. For me, it's a little bit boring. Sometimes it's a little bit sickly sweet, and then sometimes even I get nose blind to it. It has this Brazilian tonka bean, like I said, and tonka sometimes with the way it's done makes me very nose blind. I can't smell it, so I could just douse myself with this, and I don't really smell it sometimes. And then sometimes I spray it, and I'm like, wow, that's really strong. So I'm glad to have these little samples, but for me, it's not full bottle worthy, and it's not even hype worthy. I understand why people hype it. You know, it's a niche brand. It's expensive. People want to, you know, show off expensive things, but you know, for me, it's a little bit redundant. It's probably redundant to have both of these, to be honest with you. Although if you made me pick one, maybe I would pick Grand Soir. But It's not that this is a bad fragrance. This is just a vanilla fragrance. This at least has some labdanum and other things going on in it, which I appreciate a little bit more. Okay, now we're going to go on to a decant. And this decant was sent to me by Mudasir from Base Notes. So Mudasir, thank you, sir. This is Burberry's Antique Oak. And this fragrance is Burberry's attempt to break into the high-end niche category. These are like $500 a bottle for these Burberrys. You can only buy them at the Burberry boutiques, and you can pick your percentage. So he picked 35% perfume oil on his, but I think the other one is 25% or something. There's different percentages you can pick depending on how strong you want your fragrance to be. And this is also a very simple fragrance, but there's some things in this fragrance that I don't have in any of my other Francis Kurkdjian fragrances. That's leather, oud, saffron, and papyrus. So, do I like this fragrance? Yes. Would I buy a full bottle? No, absolutely not. Maybe if it was 1/10 of the price, but for $500 a bottle, I just expect so much more. There's nothing here that really grabs me and says this is $500 a bottle worthy. It's nice. The oud is done in a very similar way to like oud satin mood, you know, that kind of stuff. It's very designery. The papyrus is there. If you're a papyrus lover, it's one to sniff, but again, I'm a little agnostic to it. I'm not very interested in, maybe I'll do like a first impression video. I have worn this to bed, so it's not a true first impression, but maybe I'll give it a full wear and just finish off this decant and give you guys my thoughts one day if you're interested in that. But I don't really hear many people talk about this. This came out in 2017. I don't know if it's still available. I don't know, you know, I'm not sure about reformulation. I'm not sure about anything because I don't really follow it anymore. And the fact that it's only available in the boutique, that it's that limited, makes you know, I feel like they're just trying to drive the price up by limited availability, not because the perfume is actually worth that. You know what I mean? And so I understand what Burberry's doing from a marketing standpoint. From a perfume lover standpoint, doesn't excite me. Sorry to be so negative today, but hey, I gotta be honest with you guys. Okay, now, speaking of honesty, I will tell you a fragrance that I love of his. I think it's the best work that I have in my collection of his, and I wish I had a full bottle of it. I don't know if it's discontinued or not, but I know it's very hard to find. And it's called Ciel de Gum by Francis Kurkdjian. This is an MFK release. And Ciel de Gum is, Gum, by the way, is a department store in Russia that created this fragrance. And let me see if I can show you the juice. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at the color of that juice. Absolutely stunning. Oh, I love this fragrance. This is a fragrance worth the high cost, but it's very limited. You can't buy it. You can only buy it at the Gum department store or at MFK's boutique in Paris, I think, and that's it. I don't think you can just buy it on the website or anything, so it's very limited. It was marketed towards women, but I'm so glad I have a decant of this. It's getting, people are selling, I saw a bottle of Ciel de Gum for $600 on Mercari. $600. It's good, but even this, I mean, this is probably the one that's closest to worth of those high prices. Not Baccarat Rouge, not Grand Soir, none of that. This is the one that's probably the closest, this Ciel de Gum, because what it is, it's also very simple. But the way the jasmine is used here is stunningly beautiful. There's amber, pink pepper, jasmine, and vanilla. So again, a very simple combination of notes. But what you get is you get kind of the nice parts of Grand Soir, the ambery vanilla parts. And maybe you get a little bit of the nice parts of, there's some pink pepper from Narciso Rodriguez for him at the top. So he's kind of taken a couple elements, but then he adds this jasmine that completely blew me away. And normally, I agree with Rich Mitch, I'm not a big fan of jasmine, but the jasmine in here is stunningly beautiful. This and Iquitos and Samsara have some very beautiful jasmine notes, especially Samsara, the EDP. And you know, it's a fragrance that I wish was easier to have. I would love a full bottle of this. I would absolutely love a full bottle of Ciel de Gum. The other one that I would love a full bottle of is Absolute Pour Le Soir. I can't find it. It's discontinued now. I would love a full bottle of Absolute Pour Le Soir. If anyone has a full bottle of Absolute Pour Le Soir and they want to sell it, please let me know. I am a buyer of Absolute Pour Le Soir, but I can't find it. It's on my unicorn list. And my unicorn list is shrinking by the day because I'm constantly getting stuff. Like, I'm almost out. Absolute Pour Le Soir is one of the last things that I really want. So if you have a bottle, let me know. Okay, so that's pretty much my tribute to MFK. Some of it was nice, some of it was not so nice, but, you know, the whole point of me doing this channel is I just wanted to share my honest opinion with you guys. That's the kind of content that I want from the people on YouTube that I watch. I just want their honest opinion. I can make up my own mind. I don't need to be sold anything. I don't need you to get on here and try to sell me something. Besides, I get nothing for trying to tell you I like Ciel de Gum. Absolutely nothing. There's no affiliate fee or anything coming my way. This is just my honest opinion on this stuff. I've spent time sampling, enjoying, wearing these perfumes, and so, you know, I just wanted to share some of that knowledge that I've accumulated over the years, and I hope this is a fruitful and productive way of doing that. So that's my MFK video. If there are other MFKs that, or not just MFKs, if there's other Francis Kurkdjian fragrances that you think I should try, other than Absolute Pour Le Soir, which I'm on the hunt for, do let me know. And let me know what you think of some of these. Let me know if you agree or disagree with some of my opinions. I love seeing your faces down below. Again, a like and a subscription is always appreciated, but I'll never ask for it. And I really appreciate you guys watching. It's a pleasure. Thanks for sharing some time with me today, and I'll see you again tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.